Hey guys, so we are here with MrWolfff, and he is going to teach us all about making parks in Minecraft. So we're here at one of our parks. We're going to take a tour of a bunch of parks, and then he's going to talk about how to make your own really nice park.
So here's a park in Kingsbury. It's kind of an organic style of park. And then in the other side, you can see a more clean
Oh yeah,
and more elegant type of style.
very orderly.
Same with this.
Yep.
Okay, we can go to the big pond one.
Oh, here
You
we
can
are.
TP. This is another park in Kingsbury. And this is also a more organic style of park.
Mm-hmm.
Is a bit more organized because there's buildings and docks, kind of, and
Mm-hmm.
then a fountain here in the middle.
Wow, we've got a lot of nice parks. It looks like this one's main point, like the last one's main point was a lake, and then this one's main point is this
Yeah.
beautiful fountain here.
As you can see, it has benches,
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of emphasizes that this is for people to like walk on and like take a rest or like talk and like
Right.
talk to other people. This is more of a quick go through park.
It's a little bit more informal, a little bit more
Yeah.
humble.
And this next to it, this is what happens to a park when you don't take care of it.
But it's not really a park, but we can still include it as an example here. Yeah,
No
so
problem.
now that we've seen so many parks, we want to talk about where do you start when you want to make a park? What's your thought process and how do you plan it out?
For me, how I start planning the park, I think of like a focus point or a central area of the park. For example, there's a
Right.
tree, so you would put this tree maybe in the center of the park if you want,
Okay.
and then you can build around it
Yeah.
and then make it your focus point.
And then call
Then you
it Big
can,
Tree Park.
yeah. And then you can also do a pond or a lake. And
Okay.
then you can do a statue. We already saw a statue. Or a fountain, which we already saw a fountain in the big one.
The point is that it needs to have a focal point. So we've got a plot here, and you're going to turn this empty square into a beautiful park.
I'll try. I want to start off by doing a pond. I always start doing like a little kind of hill
Okay.
or like a little bump, kind of. And then
Okay.
the water is going to come out from this and go into the pond.
Okay.
And then I get some cobblestone, maybe some stone and gravel, and I start changing some of the dirt and the grass to
Okay.
stone and cobblestone. So then I kind of break down a shape. I'm gonna do like a small to medium size pond kind of. Then I break this, and I try to always do the center of it. I try to do like one block deeper, and then I just fill it up with water. I always fill up the pond first with water, and then I do this little block.
Hmm.
After that, I get sugar canes, and then I get acacia leaves, so I can do this. Oops. That I always try to do it on the side hills. I always do three, then two, and then one, or three, two, two, one.
Wow, you've got a
Because
system.
I want to make it look like it's like framed.
Yeah.
When I'm done with that, I look at the pond and I'm like, that is too small. So then I take it, I break it up, I expand it on the sides, and then I start building up again. So then I get the water again. I maybe want to move it up one more block, maybe like that, and then like that. Try to replace some blocks with cobblestone and stone. So I get the large fern
Uh-huh.
and I start framing the hill. I always put it behind a block
Cool.
so it kind of like peeks over.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, cool.
And then after that, I get the orange tulip, and I always try to put it in front of it or on the side of the large fern.
Wow, you've really got a system.
Then I get the double tall grass, and I always put it behind the large fern.
You add like layers, the tall one
Yeah,
behind the shorter one, and then the shorter one in front of the taller one.
For the flowers, for the pink tulip and the blue orchid, I always try to put it behind another greenery block. I don't really like
Okay.
showing it off. I don't really like putting it on the spot, kinda.
Ah.
I don't really like how it looks. I kind of like it peeking
Oh,
in
interesting.
between the cracks.
Cool. I like it. Before we go on, I should say that for those who want to like replicate this, you will have to use our custom resource pack, which is Alan Becker's European Ghibli pack, which you can download. I'll put it in the description. Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
For the white flowers, I always put it in front of the sugar canes.
Wow.
For the grass and the fern, these two, I always try to use them side by side. So when I'm
Yeah.
trying to fill up a large area, I always use the grass and the fern next to each other and kind of alternate them. I leave a space, grass, and then another space like that. And then I would put the ferns in between the spaces. And then I'll get the poppy. I always put the poppies on the edge of the water because if you put it like over here,
Right.
that doesn't look good. So then I always put it on the edge of the water. And then I'll get the large grass. I always try to go from large to medium to small, like this, kind of like
In order of height.
gradient.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Wow. Yeah, I didn't
So
know you
from
had
more
such a
dense to less
such a
dense,
such a
kind of.
detailed system.
Then you can take redstone, but and a stone button, kind of for rocks.
Oh, okay. Pressure plate and a button
And
for rocks.
the button, and then for the
Whoa.
pressure plates, I'll put them more on the sides and behind it, so they don't look as big.
Okay.
Since we have the cauldron, and then when you fill it up with water, it changes into other stuff. It's kind of a green thing. I use that, and I put it like on the side of the waterfall.
Basket of broccoli. Yeah.
Oh, that's broccoli.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I thought it was like lettuce or something.
Hey, it can be lettuce.
And then I would also use the cake. I
Oh.
think it's cake one. No, that.
Oh. So you had to use World Edit to
then,
change it, right? Because you have to take out a
yeah,
bite, basically.
yeah. I'm gonna do what I did on the park over there in market chipping. Kind of put like what you call it? Help me out. I
I
forgot the
don't know.
name.
Oh, flower pot?
I mean, yeah, flower pot, but like I would use the orange tulip to
Oh,
make
to
it
make a stool.
yeah, stool. There you go. By the way, you can only do this in the European pack by Alan. Download it in the link below. Shameless
Yeah.
plug. So now to kind of finish the pond, the actual pond, not the surroundings, I would use lily pads.
Yeah, lily pads.
And I always put them on the corners. It's kind of like the wave from the water splashing down. It moves the lily pads to
That's
the
true.
edge.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would get jungle leaves or dark oak leaves, these two. And I would go down in the water and kind of break some blocks and put them down. So then I would get the moss stone and go down and then change some blocks into the moss stone. And I would get the gravel and put them on the edges, close to the edges. So kind of like dirt that's kind of falling
Okay.
down.
What are these leaves supposed to be? Just kind of like sea or like underwater
Maybe
plants?
like, yeah, like underwater plants or the lily pads that fell to the
Oh,
bottom.
dead lily pads. So this is our focal point for the
Yeah, this
park.
is where you're gonna base the park on. So
Yeah.
then I would start doing a path. I always do the path going around the lake.
Right. Okay.
I'll start like curving it. I do them maybe 2 blocks wide or 3, depends on how big the park is. And then for the path, I use corrosive dirt and podzol.
Podzol and coarse dirt.
I like the coarse dirt. Yeah, that's the name. I like the coarse dirt because it doesn't turn into grass.
Yeah.
So I kind of do 1 block first, put them randomly, and then on the holes that are left, I use the other one. When I'm done doing this, I look over it and I look for repeated blocks,
Okay.
and I try to break it up. Then I would get the pressure plate and the button again. I put the buttons and the pressure plates on the side of the lake, like this.
Oh, closer to
Kinda.
the lake. Okay.
So then, when I'm done with the path and the pond, you come to the large area,
Uh-huh.
and you can either do a building
Okay.
or you can do a tree. And the tree, I kind of put it next to the path and overhanging. So do you want me to build a tree or do you want me to copy it?
Maybe you can build it. I don't know. Is it gonna take a while? Maybe you can teach how to
I
build a
mean,
tree.
so I'm gonna teach how to build a tree. I do like a 4
Okay.
block trunk.
All right.
Then I break it. I break the floor, and I kind
Ah.
of do the roots and stuff,
Wow, look at that. The roots.
and then I start going around it, and then I would start going up, and then kind of do like a little mess kind of thing by hand, and then you start fixing it once you're
Okay.
done, and then you start doing little branches to the side. This is a technique for small to medium trees. For that big tree over there, I used World Edit.
Okay.
And depending on how big the top is, I start fixing the trunk to make it bulkier or smaller, depending on the top.
Okay.
And then you get the leaves.
Leaves.
I don't like using one type of leaf because it looks flat.
Right.
So you do the tips,
The tips.
kind of doing like a cross. What I like doing is from the top, you start doing the top of the logs first.
Okay.
When you're done with that, you start doing the bottom, and then you start doing the sides. When you're done with the sides, it's gonna look really awkward. So what I do is I start from the middle, and I start filling it up,
Okay.
and try to do the design on the front random instead of just doing like this, just a
Yeah.
cross all the time. You maybe want to move this block or maybe
Okay.
move this block.
Mm.
When you're done with that, you start switching some of the blocks with the other ones, the other leaves. I would use the dark oak leaves. I would use them on the edges, kind of,
Mm.
and I'll kind of droop them down
Ooh,
because it kind of looks
nice.
like leaves, kind of.
Yeah.
So then, when you're done with this, you can do some other stuff. Get a grass block, get a flower. You put the flower on top, get the grass block
Whoa.
like this,
That's
and then it
cool.
looks like a leaf with kind of flowers growing on the top.
Smart. Smart.
And then what I would do for to stop the vines from growing, I would use /give your name and then barrier, and then it
All
gives you
right.
barrier blocks. And you put them down and stops the vine from growing.
Okay. Cool. Purple flowers on a tree.
Well, they're kind of blue. I mean, once you're done with that, you get the oak leaves and you kind of wrap them around,
Oh, okay.
and then I would get spruce fence, spruce slabs, and then a spruce stairs, and I would start
There we go.
kind of giving like a thicker kind of block. You might want to use the slab and put them
Yeah.
like this.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Maybe do that, and then
Yeah.
like that.
Nice.
And then I get the stairs and I
Mm.
put them maybe upside down and then put them right up on the bottom. Maybe put a fence over here
Fence
and
right
then
there, yeah.
fence. Kind of like it's connected.
So the pond is our focal point, and then the tree is kind of like the secondary focal point, would you say?
Yeah, kind of like the secondary focal point. After the tree and the pond, I would start putting some places for people to sit in. You could use that or a bed and then trapdoors. And you can
Bed with
do
trapdoors.
like the sign that we saw on the big park in Kingsbury. And we put the double right here.
Double bed bench. Awesome.
Maybe put the one bed bench over here. You're sitting. So when you're done with the benches, you start doing some greenery.
All right.
So what I use for the greenery is these blocks.
Okay.
So what I do, I would get the fence first,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
start placing them randomly.
Okay. Random fences.
And then I would get the leaves, and I start putting them on top of it.
Ah,
I
okay.
maybe do two or one. I might do two different blocks, maybe like this.
Oh, okay. Each fence is a little tiny plant.
Yeah, like a little tree.
Okay, little tree.
Now you get the dark oak leaves, and
Okay.
you start putting next to it, and this.
Okay.
These two
Dark oak
things.
leaves.
And then when we're done with this, you start doing the same thing that we did on the pond area,
Okay.
where you get the tall grass or blocks and you put them behind a block so they kind of peek over.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Once again, you get the orange tulip. You put them in front of it or next to it. I like the double tall grass because it's double tall kind of grass,
Yeah.
but it's kind of see through.
Yeah,
It's
it's
more
basically
see
grass,
through
but
than
it's
the.
taller, yeah.
I mean, it's a double tall grass. Okay.
I like it because it's double tall and it's grass.
Yeah, kind of in the name. If you stand on the path, it was kind of it looks full and stuff, but
Yeah.
it looks very greeny and
Mm.
browny. The way I fix that is you get the flowers. Let me
Needs
get the
some
white flowers.
color.
What I did on the pond, you put them behind the block, and it kind of peeks over instead of just on your face.
Yeah.
There you go. The small ones, I always put them on the front
Yeah.
because they're not really on your face.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do this, it's gonna
Oh yeah.
there's like a lot of flowers instead of just being like a small one.
Yeah.
You put the white flowers in the front. Then I would get the grass and start doing the same thing. Grass, space, grass.
Grass, space, grass, and then fern.
And then between the spaces, I put a fern. So something that I started doing maybe a month ago or so, I started using these three flowers.
Oh.
They're bright, but if you put them far in the back,
Uh-huh. Nice little
you can still
accent.
kind of see them.
Yeah.
But since they're okay, the difference between these ones and this one, or like these three. These ones are one block high, so you're gonna have to put them really close to
Uh-huh.
the path to be able to see them. So they're not brighter than these ones, but they kind of appear brighter because they're so
Ye-
close to
They
your
have to be
face.
closer to be, yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, and then these ones are two block high, so you can put them in the back
Right.
behind a block, and you can still see them.
Yeah. Wow. So much thought goes into it. I didn't know.
Over here, as you can see, pretty empty.
Mm-hmm.
So you do the same thing that you did over there. You put the random fences, do one in the front, and then two in the
Two in
back,
the back.
and then switch it up.
Then you add
So,
the dark oak leaves.
hey, you're learning.
Then you add the double tall ferns, right? Or do
Well, I
you
mean,
add the
you might
acacia
want
leaves
to,
first?
yeah, you might want to add the acacia leaves. Maybe the ones in the back.
Oh, make them a little bit taller.
Like right here, this is a perfect example because they're both the same height.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Then if you
Break it
do
up.
that,
Break it up. It's kind
and
of
then
like a
maybe
half slab for leaves.
for the one block leaves, you might want to do it too. For like
Yeah.
that one, maybe the one in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
You get the large fern, you put it behind the block, and then you get the orange tulip, put it next to it, then get the double top grass, then get the flowers, put them behind the fences,
Uh-huh.
and then after this, you're pretty much done. You can put some details, like a lamp, maybe some picnic tables. There's no space for that here. Whatever you want, really.
Okay, so let's go through the steps again. So we have the large focal point first, which is the pond, right? And then we have the path. We added the path that kind of surrounds the pond or whatever focal point we have. And then we added the secondary focal point, which was the tree. And then I guess you can add multiple secondary focal points depending on how big your park is. And then after that, you add the seating, which is in our case the benches. And then after that was the greenery, right? So you have like a process for the greenery, which is the fences, and then turn each fence into a little plant, and then you add the in-between greenery, and then you add the tall foliage, and then the flowers, and then you kind of work your way from like tall to short seems, with
Yeah.
the rest of the foliage. I like it. You have a very specific and clear method, and I guess you must have done this a lot of times in order to like create this method.
Yeah.
So I imagine. So that's cool. All right, great. So stay tuned for more how-to videos, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye bye.